What's up guys, it's Michael here. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're gonna cover part 2 of the top 10 jobs. Let's get down to business. So the first one is a cook. The reason why I say a cook is because it has actually a lot of potential. So you think about it, everyone needs to eat overall, right? So as you see in this pandemic, a lot of people don't know how to make food. So what they did is, since with the internet, they go around and search for ideas and topics, how to make dishes that'll satisfy their appetite. Just thanks to the pandemic, it accelerated this process. But based on the article, it says that cooks don't make a lot of money, which is true. And at the same time, is false. It's just because cooks didn't have the ability to market themselves and show off their unique products to the marketplace. But there's only a few examples out there, such as a few YouTubers and few cooking channels you can actually find on there. I'm not gonna name the names. You see how they make food, how they start off as a chef, and they realize, this isn't the life for them. They didn't want to live through this. And all of a sudden, like, they start showing how they make their specialty products, especially food that people have never seen before. All of a sudden, you have a lot of people coming in and watching them, and they start ordering stuff from them. So number 2 is actually a painter. A painter has a lot of different thresholds out there. So a painter, can range from painting cars, painting houses, doing artwork. And what I want to break down is that painters itself does not make a lot of money. It's only the really specialty ones. So for example, car wraps. So a lot of people out there don't know what car wraps do. They think it's more of a novelty. Yes, it is a novelty item, but at the same time, you can charge a hefty premium, and you can pick out really specific individuals that are willing to pay that premium. When they pay that premium, that's basically a lot of profit and marketing margin. Because if they like the product you make, they'll tell their other friends, it'll come to you. So car wraps is one, for example. Doing artwork is another example. So a lot of people design their houses, you just throw on like a solid coat of paint and whatever, right? They just call it a day. But in reality, if you think about it, painting a wall can actually have a lot of influence on how a structure looks and feels in design. So if you start designing, for example, I've seen a few companies actually make wallpaper. Not just like, small little sheets of wallpaper, big wallpaper of artwork printed onto them where they can attach it on their home wall. It'd be like basically a giant piece of artwork on the wall. That itself is actually very impressive and is a really niche market where the price currently is still extremely high, but to the point where only really special groups that make them. So there's a basic, what I mentioned here, a little gap right there for people to step in, artists to step in and fill that gap. So they say that in schools, they say being an artist does not make a lot. You just have to find that loophole, that niche that people are willing to pay a premium for. And that is one of the ones, a couple of the ones I mentioned that basically has a gap for people to take advantage of. And sadly, how long it's going to take, it really depends on how people market it. Because if you design a really nice piece of artwork and no one knows about it, then it doesn't even matter because no one will know who you are. But if you do design a piece of artwork and you show it off to other places, go to like events, etc., online, social media, show it how it works, show you how you did it, and you have people come contact you. There you go. As simple as that. People think it's really difficult. It's actually not. So the third is actually it's not as difficult as it seems. There's a lot of people doing it. It's actually a handyman. A lot of people think handyman, there's so many of them, is because a lot of people hire a handyman to do jobs they don't know how to do. And of course, there is a lot of them out there. There's a lot of articles and videos out there. But at the same time, a handyman, there's actually not that many showing off really niche type of work. So for example, doing draining pipes and in a sink, etc. It's not that difficult. Yes, that's true. But what makes it really special, they can do a lot of type of work. At the same time, they're not really like a complete master of that specific work. But at the same time, if they do a good job, they can master the skill to the point that they can do really niche things. For example, if you design a sink and you need someone to help install it, so you can have people come and help install it as a handyman, and at the same time showcase how does a handyman redo the house, redo the artwork, redo the painting, showing an aesthetic way. Because a handyman, his job is to fix and repair things, but at the same time, they have to show the value of why they are worth this much. So if you show off the value, which is how they repair and design a house. You can suggest to your client saying that, hey, I designed a place like this. Maybe you should take a look of other types of designs, and you show it off to them. Maybe show them different type of builds and work you have done. If you do that, then you have a lot of potential for new clients. The fourth one, I consider a growing in popularity because thanks to the current trend, is actually a electrician. The reason why electrician is now becoming more and more popular is because, as you see with the current pandemic and with the current blackouts that's currently happening. So in California, we have a lot of wildfires, we have a lot of blackouts during heat wave, and you look down to the south in Texas, Louisiana, those states. Currently, as you see what happened, unfortunately, my prayers thought to them, is with the snowstorm. The snowstorm came down and took out a lot of the houses and the power grid. So now people having a lot less trust in whether or not the power grid can keep up with their consumption needs, and now they're resorting to different needs. Because as an electrician, your job is to set wires, do electrical work. You can also show a lot of people how to design and install solar panels, because now, since thanks to that constant fear of what happened, people are now resorting to different needs. They're trying to make their own electricity. And before, solar itself is really expensive. And now within, about over 10 years now, about even longer, solar itself is getting a lot cheaper than before. It's getting a lot of affordability. So the more affordability it has, then more people come in and buy it. So thanks to the current events, because before they thought, hey, there's no big deal. I mean, the power to have it good. The electrical cost is great. I mean, it's not that bad compared to other places. But now they realize the dark side of it. What happens if they don't have power? What happens? The companies are not coming to support you, or the government's not coming to support you. And what are you gonna do? In both cases, they dug themselves a grave. And now they learned their lesson. So electricians are mainly needed because not that many people know how to install solar panels, because electrical wiring is a really tricky and unique skill. And the fifth and final one, is actually not as hard as you think. And a lot of people might disagree with this one, is actually becoming a teacher. So a teacher, as you see, a public school teacher itself, or like high school, elementary, they do not really make anything, sadly. It's just how it is. If you become a public school teacher, you are under the mercy of the school and the government. So the government dictates how much money comes in funding the school, and the school has to fund out money to whatever the teachers, the staff, the cost, electricity, etc. The list goes on. So at the end, your ending final pay is going to be really low, as you see, for example, in LACUSC. Actually, LA County. That's actually LA County School District. A lot of teachers and unionize, and they riot. They say they don't get enough pay. The reason why? Because there's just there's too many students, not enough funding. Even there's a lot of money everywhere. It's being wasted somewhere. It's just how it is. And they said, what potential does a teacher have? Actually, if you think about it, there's a lot of people who actually need teachers, but what type of teachers? That you have to answer. So if a student does bad in school, then what do? The parents usually go to hire a tutor. And now thanks to the pandemic and thanks to a surge in internet users, now teaching can be a lot more affordable and a lot more accessible. So instead of going to a person's house, you can actually charge multiple fees. And so you can have like an online fee, and you can have an in-person fee. So with the pandemic, you can charge two different fees right there. And compared to working with other students and working with a bunch of students, personally, working with a single individual, a privatized student, is a way better option than working with a bunch of students at once. Because first, when you work with a single student, if you get them to have basically results, successful results, you can show off to parents like, hey, this is the reason why I charge this much. There's a reason why I'm worth this much. And if if they need help, your child needs help, then you can contact me A, B, and C. Like for example, maybe on the phone, you can have the number. You can B, you can contact the child they need help through like online apps such as Zoom, which don't really recommend. I say mainly those type of people use that type of private institution. I'll say Discord, honestly. Discord's probably one of the best ones because it's way more privatized and a lot more people use it. And especially people in my age, Discord's the way to go. That's another contacting app. And besides the phone, there you go. I just list basically 3 reasons right there. You can do it. So you compare to a privatized teacher and a teacher working in a school. Which one would you do? Obviously the privatized, because privatized you have the ability to say yes to students and no to students. In the school you don't have a choice. Whatever students come in, you have to take them. There's only like a really few exceptions. And also, you're under mercy of their pay because you do not have the ability to scale. So if you're a teacher and you're privatized and you do private tutoring, you have the ability to say yes to him, no to this person. If you don't like them, fine, go separate ways. And at the same time, you can also scale that income because, as I mentioned, thanks to the surge of people using the internet, you can take more than one client at the same time. And you can charge multiple fees. You can have an in-person fee, and you can have a person when they contact you an online fee. And when you do that, you can get actually really successful results. Personally, I see a few of my friends who do privatized tutoring that have an in-person fee and they have an online fee, and I'm able to contact them constantly. So the best part is, instead of let's be honest here, going into class, waking up every single day at 8, be there in school, get underpaid, then you have to pay for your own materials, rather than you can be at home and you can teach them from at home. And at the same time, you don't have to worry. You don't have that much liability. The liability is way down compared to meeting them in person as a public school teacher. So, if you become a teacher, I think that's the better option. The better route you should choose compared to the other route, becoming a public school teacher. No offense to them, they do a great work, but at the same time, at the end, money talks. So these are the top 10 jobs that I personally picked down a list from US Money News. Please comment down below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you like this video, please write down a comment. Then I can make more videos like this in the future. See you guys next time. And I really hope you guys stay safe out there. And the jobs you pick in the future, make sure to keep in mind that whatever job you pick, make sure you have like escape route. A route where if you want to quit that job or you want to basically make more income, you make sure you have to follow the steps whether or not it's scalable or not. Whether or not does the market need your skill? Whether or not you can think outside the box. I'll see you next time on my channel. Peace.